Welcome to Super Lap Scotland, and this week we are at an away round. We're at Croft. We meet up with the DDMC and we kind of join in with their Battle of Britain meeting. A big meeting held at Croft, and Leslie Starkey and the DDMC team very welcoming for Super Lap Scotland at our away round. And this is qualifying for round number 5. Tricky weather conditions, as you can see, from a pretty moody, heavy sky. Damp track in certain areas as the cars made their way out onto Croft circuit, and very different from what they're used to at Knockhill, as David Smithering just going through there, edgy as ever, a little bit of slipping from the rear end of that car, and round went Alex Fulton. Great to see international man of mystery Alex Fulton back at Super Lap. He has had nothing but torrid luck, and he's also been away working, so unfortunately missed most of the season, but Fulton back on track, thankfully, at Croft. Robert Ewell with a bit of a slidey moment going through Clairvaux, turn number 1 in his first year of Super Lap Scotland, and off goes the Rab Jobson Alex Milne car. That was a very leisurely drive onto the old part of the circuit. Keir Riley, well, that's a bouncing Renault Clio coming into shot there, pogo sticking through sunny in and sunny out before heading back up towards the end of the lap. Robert Ewell, in his first year of Super Lap, really getting the hang of things and fastest in Class G with a 149.7. He will be delighted with that after qualifying. His first time competing at Super Lap at Croft, really getting a hang of it. David Smithering sideways through turn number 1, Clairvaux, and managing to hold that in one piece as Alex Fulton again took to the old part of Croft's racetrack, onto one of the old runways, and looked for a way back onto the circuit, doing it safely, as you could see other cars coming up behind them. Through went Rankin and through went Jobson as well. Adam Morrison in his trusty Mini Cooper S, fastest in Class F, a 137.350. Morrison, no stranger to the Croft circuit from racing here in the SMRC categories over the years, but definitely putting his experience down and showing that he knows how to get his car around here just as quick as he does at Knockhill Racing Circuit. Ian Biaggi was down from Dumfries as well in the lovely Ford Focus, but Biaggi had been plagued with a front left issue all off the weekend. Let's hope he did manage to get that sorted. From testing all the way through, it wasn't working. Michael Emery, the man in Class F this year, leading the way on the road there with one of the Osbornes right underneath his rear wing, as again David Smithering very, very sideways through turn number 1, showing us his style. Neil Campbell gets the way through there, followed by former King of the Hill and fastest in Class E, Martin Brown, 135.584. Brown, in his trusty Subaru, likes Croft a lot. The lap time Martin Brown put down in qualifying saw him being fastest in E-Class, and he was really on it. You could watch the car dancing about as it would go through, just like Jobson was doing as the car come through turn 1 at Clairvaux. New man Mark Dawson in Class D also enjoying his first ever away visit with Super Lap Scotland to Croft, and he was up against this man as ever, David Smithering. These guys have locked horns so many times this year, and in qualifying this time taking the extra couple of bonus points, it was Smithering, 133.984 for David Smithering. He took the honours in Class D, and that was very much a notch on his toolbox towards taking a championship. Dawson, though, is still very much in the fight. Donny McLeod went through. Great to see Donny back in his Renault Clio. One of the Osbornes, Michael Osborne Jr., that was Aussie. There's Tom Lockhart in the distinctive Renault Clio that Tom has got. And again, we picked back up with Aussie Jr., fastest in C-Class, 131.988. Michael Osborne had been flirting a little bit, though, with track limits, and he had his first lap time disallowed, exceeding track limits. So it's very easy to do at Croft. There's a few user-friendly areas. Did Smithering hold that as he went out of shot? We sincerely hope so. Fastest in the Pro class was Paul Rankin, a 128.103 for Paul Rankin. The joiner himself in his Westfield with a little bit of added va-va-voom. He'll be very happy with how things went for him. John Wallace goes through in the trusty Mini Cooper S. And Simon Bainbridge was here as well for Pro X class. Bainbridge, who we love having along in the chrono, the 4.2 litre Pro X class chrono. Well, Simon, he was 6.9 seconds up the road from everybody else. He did a 121.167. Bainbridge was in a class of his own. Andy Forrest not here this weekend, but Bainbridge was the fastest in qualifying overall. So moving on to the finals, a slightly different setup from what we normally have at Knockhill, where we have everybody having their own one-lap run-off. What we have at Croft is a 20-minute session, and Bainbridge was in trouble straight away, down towards Clairvaux turn 1. Something was amiss with the gearbox and transmission, off-pulled Simon Bainbridge, and that was his day done in the final. Ian Biaggi, there is the front left wheel issues, and he's parked that in not the greatest place. And Ian working at his car at the side of the track. The marshals will grab him away from there pretty quickly, one would imagine, and get him to a place of safety. Fastest in the G class, again, was Robert Ewell, 1:45.668. Robert delighted with how his first ever trip south of the border with Superlap Scotland has gone at Croft. Fitting in with a very, very busy Battle of Britain meeting, and you can see Robert sliding that little car about, really getting the most out of that as he comes in towards the complex for his end of the fastest lap he did. Class F. Well, Class F was pretty sensational stuff as ever. Carl Walker, local-ish man. I'm going to say local-ish. But Carl Walker's not had a plain sailing year. He come home in 6th place in Class F in car number 29. Andy Clotworthy, car number 61, brand new to the F class car. Normally see Andy in a big high-powered Subaru. Well, he did a 5th place once, and in number 61 he did a 1:42.6 with Craig Wallace in his Peugeot just ahead of him with a 1:41.002 for 4th place. The Peugeot 106 XSI was behind car 725 Keir Riley, who we saw pogo sticking through sunny in and sunny out earlier on with a 1:39.924 for Keir Riley. He trailed Tom Locker in 2nd place, 716 Tom Locker in Class F with a 1:39.687 second lap for Tom Locker. Ever smiley, ever happy Tom Locker, who just loves his Superlap Scotland, and he'll be delighted that he beat Andy Clotworthy as well. But the fastest man in Class F, as he has been all year, car number 14, Michael Imrie, a 1:37.077, 2.6 seconds up the road from anybody else. And Michael really has got himself dialed into this car. He has got the same car as last year, although it's been rebuilt, and it's also been re-liveried. And Michael Imrie extremely fast and finding the grass in one of his laps as well as he attempted to go around the outside of Clotworthy. Unfortunately, Ian Biaggi, well, fairly large issues with the front left on that car, breaking wheel studs, and off would come the wheel. So Biaggi out of the running. The Ford Focus, no, he's not going to go any further. 7th place for him. 6th place for Alex Milne in the Audi A3, a 1:40.5 for Milne, and Neil Campbell 814 in his Honda Civic Type R with a 1:37.227 in 5th place. 4th place just up the road from him, car number 101, the trusty Mini Cooper S for John Wallace, going off the road there as well, as quite a few people did, and that's something that's a little bit different for them. John coming away in 4th place, but they can make a mistake on your fastest lap at Croft. You can get away with it, and you do get another run. Had that been Knockhill, that would have been curtains. 4th place for Wallace though. 3rd place for Rab Jobson in the S3, a 1:35.788. Rab Jobson, as ever, fast as you can imagine in that car, taking it to the very, very limits. In 2nd place it was Martin Brown, car number 88, in the Subaru Impreza WRX with a 1:35.008. Brown, try as he may, in car number 88, wasn't going to get the win this time. It was Donny McLeod in 1:44, back in his trusty Renault Clio, the Synergy Cycles man himself. Renault Clio 172, a 1:34.617, 3/10 of a second faster around Croft than Martin Brown in his Subaru Impreza. So you can see just how well the power to weight ratio works in Superlap Scotland. The little Renault Clio beats the Subaru Impreza here, but McLeod, he was driving the wheels off it. In Class D, 2 cars, Smitherham and Dawson, and it's all out war between these two guys. Mark Dawson come away with a 2nd place in his Honda Civic Type R, 1:34.963. Dawson and Smitherham have been locked in a war at Knockhill, and it's come south of the border, and Smitherham, with less distance to travel from his home down south, maybe took that advantage, and he won Class D. The big Chevrolet Corvette C6 5.9 litre engine, a 1:34.365 for Smitherham. Look at the big lines he leaves going in towards the complex, and he took the Class D honours. 2 cars in Class C, Michael Osborne Sr. and Aussie Michael Osborne Jr. We've got to say Osborne Sr. unfortunately beaten by his son this time, a 1:34.304 for Michael Osborne Sr. but it was Aussie Junior who took that by 3.7 seconds with a 1:30.572. Aussie is fast, there's no getting away from it. His dad's quick as well, but young Michael Osborne Jr. definitely the man of the meeting in C-Class, and he's been the man all year. Comes away from Croft leading the King of the Hill points. The Pro Class final, well, second place, car number 10, in his aerial atom, it was Nev Wood with a 1:33.373. Nev enjoying his time at Croft and enjoying his time at Knockhill this year. He's getting faster and faster every time he sits in that car. Fastest in Pro Class though went to Paul Rankin, car number 62 in the Westfield. 1:25.733. Rankin, you could almost call him a bit of a Croft specialist. He's done a lot of racing here, whether it's with the DDMC or the SMRC, and he put all that experience into practice, and he took the fastest time in the Pro at SLS in the visit to Croft. Rankin wins Pro by 7.6 seconds. Michael Osborne Jr. takes the Class C honours, with Davis Smitheram fastest in Class D. Car number 144, Donny McLeod, in his return to the Renault Clio, takes E-Class, and Michael Imrie wins F. Robert Ewell, delighted with winning Class G. We're back in Knockhill on the 18th and 19th of September. Make sure you come trackside and join us for what will be the final rounds of Superlap Scotland. Anti-clockwise direction on the Saturday, clockwise direction on the Sunday. Make sure you don't miss it.